scientist, Devin the scientist. Devin the scientist. Science rules. Devin the scientist. Inertia is a property of matter. Devin the scientist. Devin the scientist.
Hi, just chilling on some cement. I am Devin the scientist. Everyone close your eyes and imagine a tree. How do you remember what it looks like? Your brain has many parts, a lot of which are involved in memory and recall. Let's dig a little deeper into the mysterious organ we call the brain.
This episode is brought to you by Memory and Recall. Memory and recall are critical elements in the learning process. Memory is a process, not a fixed thing or singular skill. Recall in memory refers to the mental process of retrieval of information from the past.
Scientist Devin, what part of the brain relates to emotions?
That would be the amygdala. The amygdala is an almond-shaped structure on the brain. It is actually from the Greek word almond. The amygdala stores memories that are usually related to negative emotional traits.
Scientist Devin, what's so important about the hippocampus?
Actually, the hippocampus helps with the formation of spatial and other explicit memories.
So you mean speaking, reading, and even recalling an emotional event?
Eureka, student Casey, that's exactly right. There is also working memory, which happens in the prefrontal cortex and the parietal lobe.
Scientist Devin, I know what working memory is. Working memory is a system for temporarily storing and managing the information required to carry out complex cognitive tasks, such as learning, reasoning, and comprehension.
Eureka, that's right. Along with that, there's a part of the brain referred to as a cerebellum.
That helps with procedural and reflexive learning, along with conditioned responses.
Eureka, that's exactly right. Now let me introduce you to my right-hand man, or Dino, Veloso the Raptor.
Yo, it's Veloso the Raptor in the house. I'm about to teach you about the difference between implicit and explicit memory. Student Casey, lay down the beat. Memory pathways, yeah, there's two. Both work in me and both work in you. Explicit and implicit, both are used to recall memories. You won't get confused. First, there's implicit broken down to two. Reflexive and procedural, just call me the guru. Reflexive is automated, non-conscious learning like conditioned and emotional responses, page turning. Now you asked about explicit pathways. It's got two-part lexicon of man's slate. Semantic symbols, words, episodic locations. I hope you recall all of this information.
Eureka, that was fun, but you better run. No, seriously, there is an asteroid headed for Earth.
So Devin the scientist, explicit is short-term and working memory?
Yes, you're right, and implicit is long-term memory. We are going to take a quick commercial break now. I need to do my business. Stay tuned.
Hey kid, do you have a hard time reconstructing memory? Then you need to buy the Reconstructionator 2000.
Ooh,
This nifty hat aids you in reconstructing your memories. It has two switches, an index switch and a frozen switch. We use the index switch to signal the brain to rekindle content. Have you ever had trouble thinking of a word you want to use in a paper? mental indexes to help us find the word we want. A word like classroom is normally related to school, work, kids, and teacher. The frozen switch targets memories that are frozen patterns waiting for a resonating signal to awaken them. Essentially, you always have memories that are frozen in your brain waiting to be triggered by a stimulus. No stimulus needed with this hat. Simply flick the switch and you'll remember. This can be yours for a low price of $200. Act now and you'll receive a free fatty fish, which the internet told us helps with memory. Call 1-800-CALL-NOW.
And we're back. Let's go over a quick review of what we have learned so far. The hippocampus mediates semantic and episodic learning. The amygdala mediates emotional threats. The cortex and the temporal lobes mediate the semantic retrieval. The prefrontal cortex are the working memory. The parietal and intral working memory. Cerebellum are the procedural and reflexive learning, which goes to conditioned responses.
Scientist Devin, can we summarize reconstruction?
Why, of course you can, student Alexa.
There are two types of theories about the reconstruction of memory. The first is the index theory. Indexes provide directions to the brain on how to revive content.
The second is the frozen theory. It states that memories are frozen in your brain, waiting to be remembered. These memories won't be recalled until prompted by a stimulus. Hey man, Chad, we should probably start studying for our educational psychology class.
You're right, Josh. We wouldn't want Deb to fail us.
Nah, I'm not accepting an F.
Hey, let's brush up on the 4 practical strategies. The explicit declarative strategy retrieves learning through rhymes, visualizations, music, and discussion. Some teachers might use graphic organizers to help students keep their learning fresh.
No wonder we make these an educational site.
Hey.
It makes so much more sense. The second type of strategy is episodic. This focuses on changes in location, circumstances, and a change in emotion. An example of this would be changing the classroom setting. A good teacher might take her class outside to do a lesson. Due to the variation in location, a student's more likely to remember the lesson.
Hey, yeah, that's right. Good job, Josh. The third strategy is procedural, which involves physical movement. A good teacher will get their students up and moving instead of just lecturing. They might use hand motions, dancing, or even talking to a partner.
That's right, Chad. Don't forget about reflective strategies. Basically, it's like muscle memory for your brain. If you practice something enough, you'll eventually have an easier time retrieving the answer. Examples of this would be multiplication tables or flashcards. You're consistently training your brain.
Yeah, good review.
Let's play a rousing game of fact or myth. This involves viewer participation. I'm going to make a statement and you have to guess if it is a myth or a fact. Number 1, most brains convey memory and play them like a movie. Fact or myth? Eureka, you're right. It's a myth. Only 3.5% of people experience their memories that way. Very interesting. Number 2, researchers are 100% sure on how memory process works. Fact or a myth? Eureka, you're right. It's a myth. The brain is a very complex structure, which has a lot of unknowns. While studies have proven some things, no one can be 100% sure on how memory and recall works. Number 3, all memories are stored in the same part of the brain. Fact or a myth? Eureka! As stated before, different types of memories are stored in different parts of the brain. Thank you so much for playing Fact or Myth. Although all of them were in fact a myth, now we are going to have a dance party because that is what we do. Bring in the dinosaur.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam. Alright.